So one question I get asked often is, what other things can I do to stay fit? How can I make sure that my body really functions? Because we all know if we just write, and we don't even maybe write every day, when we just write, then it's asked a lot from our bodies to be in like perfect position and perfect coordination for 1 hour, when 24/7, let's say 23 hours of the day, we are not really focusing so much on that. So there are a couple of things that you can do. What I find really helpful is when you have more awareness of what you're doing every day. Yeah. Oh, Jane, hello. iPad Jane. Hi. Hi, Jane. Good to see you. Or see that you're here. Fantastic. And if you have questions, please type them into the chat. Yeah, so what I find is when you have more awareness of how your body is moving in your everyday life, that makes a huge difference for your writing. So there are simple things. How do you breathe? How do you move from your living room to your kitchen? How do you walk? Are these things, when we pay attention to that, when we have more awareness of that, it makes a huge difference. Because these are things. No, like breathing, we do 20 to 25,000 times a day. So how about changing that a little bit, right? So it makes a big difference for the awareness of yourself and your body and your health and all of that. And also walking. We're supposed to take 10,000 steps a day, right? That's a lot. And I know not everybody does 10,000 steps, but even if you just do like, let's say 3,000, which is little, 3,000 steps, think about it. That's a lot of steps, and increasing the awareness of how you're moving, improving that, making it smoother. That actually changes something deep inside of you that then really helps you to write better too. Yeah, so these can be things, paying attention to what's happening in your body. And then also when you then in the saddle, like being aware of what you need to do, how do I need to move my body, etc. But I want to give you an example of how awareness of yourself and balance improved on the ground can really help you in the saddle. And Jane, you know this exercise, but I think you'll probably be happy to see it again or do it with me again. So there are a couple of different exercises, like even eye exercises and tongue movement exercises that improve your balance. It's kind of magical, and it's just fantastic. When you think about it, what you need balance for, balance in the saddle, first of all, it keeps you in the saddle. It keeps the horse between you and the ground, right? So balance is a good thing to have so that you can stay on. Balance, a good balance, also helps you coordinate better, right? When you are struggling to stay on, then you get tense in all kinds of places. But when your balance is good, then you can move with the horse more easily, and you can coordinate your movements better, right? So if I saw this bareback race on Facebook the other day, where these young guys, they jump onto these thoroughbreds and then they gallop with those thoroughbreds. And when you see them ride, their legs are entirely loose. They're just hanging around the horse's sides. They're not gripping with their legs or anything. And these horses go full speed, and they're rearing up and whatever. And these guys are just hanging on. But they are hanging on because they've got a fantastic balance. Yeah, so they can move. Their balance just moves with the horse, no matter what the horse does, and they stay on. Yeah, so it's really inspiring to see how they do this. But we can definitely do something to improve our balance on the ground. When you become better on the ground, then you can become better in the saddle, and your balance can become better. So let me show you one simple magical exercise that can do that, and that is tongue circles. And to see the effect for yourself, we'll do a little exercise. So let me see. Yeah, so you can see me here. So what we'll do, we'll just stand and make sure that you have something to hold on to. So maybe a wall, or even like in the corner of the room. So in case you get a little wobbly, then you can hold on to something. And now we'll do something very simple, and we're testing our balance. We're then going to do our little tongue circles, and then we're going to test the balance again. So the first thing is that you just bring the feet very close together. Yeah, and you might already find, oh, that's already a little less stable. And then, and as I said, make sure you can hold on to something if needed. Then you close your eyes for a moment. And you might feel that you are swaying a little bit from one side to the other, maybe one side more than the other. Yeah, so give this a number even of how you safe, how stable you feel between a what 0 or 10, 10 being super stable and 0 being not stable at all. Good. And then you open your eyes again, and then you move the tongue in your mouth so that you do this, right? So, like behind the lips, make a few circles, then the other way. Funny, right? Funny faces. Okay, now let's test the balance again. So bring your feet close together again. You might already feel a little different. And then close your eyes and get a sense of if you feel more stable, less stable, or the same after doing this exercise. So we're looking for subtle changes. Yeah, so something a little more stable, a little bit more organized will already give you a hint that this could be an exercise that's useful for you. Yeah? Okay, good. So that was a very quick run through. You can do that exercise again later and just, play with this. But what that exercise does, so now for some of you, you might have said, like, after this little tongue circles, you might go like, oh wow, I feel much more stable. For some people it's really an instant wow, right? It's really improving something. For some people it's meh, not really, it didn't really make a difference. And for some people the balance might have gotten worse. So all of these three things give us really important information about your nervous system. Because with these tongue circles, we are activating areas of your brain that are also responsible for stabilizing your spine. And this is why this works. For some people, it works where they get more stable with the tongue circles, because that is something where that specific activation of these specific areas of the brain was a useful input for your nervous system and your brain. So your brain was like, oh yeah, oh that's helping me. Oh, there's something. Oh yeah. Let me kind of engage these other muscles that are stabilizing. So we kind of triggered something. We engaged something that was useful for your nervous system. For other people, it can be an overstimulation. Like even little things like these tongue circles or eye movements can be an overstimulation of your nervous system. And then you might get more wobbly. But that's also telling us something about your nervous system where we go like, okay, that is probably something you should be working on. And then there are other exercises. So it's usually these exercises that you then shouldn't do for a bit or just in combination with others, because right now it's an overstimulation. So if you did too much of this, so if these tongue circles made you worse, do not practice them. Yeah, because that will make you worse. It made your balance obviously worse. Yeah, with tongue circles, usually not that many people where it really gets worse. Yeah, so usually this is a powerful exercise, and with most people that I see and work with, they usually have a really nice improvement with those tongue circles. But when you have other things like eye movements and other exercises, then you can see a difference really clearly, where some people go like, oh wow, really positive effect, and for other people it's like, oh no, that was too much, right? So I feel more wobbly, and then you don't do them, or you do them in a different context. If it was neutral, so you did not feel a big difference, then this exercise could be fun to do, but you don't really need to do it because it obviously doesn't really stimulate anything specific, at least not for balance. You can also test other things when you just use this one test, and I was simplifying it right now. When you just use that one test, then you're also really just testing that effect on your nervous system. Range of motion and things like that can be improved through this as well. So yeah, so Tongue circles, right? Isn't that crazy? And what I love about these is that they are so simple. These exercises are so incredibly simple. Yeah, so you can do them before you get on your horse, or when your horse is really well behaved, and you could even do it when riding. Yeah, and don't bite your tongue, right? And don't, don't don't blame me if you bite your tongue when you're riding. So, just and as showed you, just a few circles can be enough. Sometimes when it was a little too much, you can go with less and test it again, or you can go with more and test it again. You always test it on the ground. Or you can also test it in the saddle. Let's say you do your posting trot and you feel a little bit off balance and unstable and wobbly or whatever, and then you go back to a walk and a halt and you do a couple of tongue circles, and then you start your posting trot again and check in with yourself. Am I more stable? Am I more coordinated? Yeah, because it can have this instant effect on, as I said, all the muscles around your spine that are stabilizing your spine. And when we have more stability in our spine, then we can get more stable and more coordinated in the saddle as well. Yeah, so I just gave you a little magic wand to change things if this was a so-called power drill for you. So a drill that helped you, that improved your balance. Yeah, and test it again when you are away from the computer and all of that, and when you have the time and brain space to do it again, because you always want to test these things and really see if how they are affecting your nervous system in the beginning. So you test them like once or maybe twice in the beginning to see the effect. Then you do not have to test them each time. So right now, if that tested positively, then next time you see your horse, you do some tongue circles before you mount, right? So now you can use it. And you can use it and do it off like twice a day or so, like after brushing your teeth or something like that. So it's a really fantastic little exercise. I sometimes do it when driving in my car, right? Do some of these exercises I do in my car. You cannot do all of them, obviously, like eye movements and things, better not in the car. But some of them you can really do in your car and while driving, or while watching TV or something like that. So I always love easy exercises that can improve you. And these exercises, I've only worked with this for a year and a half now, but very intensely. But it's adding to the things that I've done for 30 years, right? Because now I have something where I can go and tell people, see, this is an exercise that you can actually do at home that's very short, very easy, very efficient. Yeah, when people, as I said, sometimes ask me, like, what can I do at home to improve my balance and all of that? Then I can tell them, yeah, maybe do yoga, right, 3 times a week or 20 minutes, which is amazing. But not everybody can do it, or does not have the, let's be honest, self-discipline to do it, and the time when we have horses, etc. Right? But tongue circles, there's really no excuses now, ladies. So do your tongue circles if they worked, right?